Ever wondered why you're constantly attracted to a specific type of person, even if it always ends in heartbreak? Or why you sometimes feel like you're falling in love with someone you barely know, as if they've walked straight out of your dreams? The answer might not lie in their charm, looks, or wit. It might actually come from deep within your own psyche. Welcome to Carl Jung's theory of the anima and animus, two psychological forces that might just be writing the love stories you didn't even know you were starring in. In today's article, we're going to dive deep into the mysterious world of Carl Jung's psychological theories, specifically his concepts of the anima and animus. These two inner archetypes are more than just academic jargon. They might explain everything from why we're drawn to certain partners to how we sabotage our own relationships. And don't worry, this isn't going to be a boring lecture. We're unpacking it all in a real, relatable way, like that one late-night heart-to-heart you have with a friend after a breakup, but smarter. Carl Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, gave the world many psychological concepts, but few are as fascinating and emotionally charged as the anima and animus. In simple terms, the anima is the unconscious feminine side of a man, while the animus is the unconscious masculine side of a woman. These aren't just traits or habits. They're deep-seated archetypes that live in the unconscious mind and influence our emotions, behaviors, and relationships. Let's start with the anima. If you're a man and ever felt irrationally drawn to a woman because she just gets you, that might be your anima talking. She's the part of you that represents intuition, emotion, creativity, and connection. According to Jung, every man holds within him a feminine soul image, built over time through interactions with female figures, mother, sister, friends, lovers. But it's not just based on experience. The anima is part of the collective unconscious, which means it carries ancient patterns passed down through generations. In practice, this means a man might unconsciously seek partners who match his inner image of the feminine, often without realizing it. The woman becomes a mirror of his internal anima, not her real self. That's why relationships that start like a fairy tale can quickly collapse, because eventually the projection fades and reality steps in. Now, let's flip the coin to the animus. For women, the animus embodies logic, strength, direction, and rational thought. Just like the anima, the animus is formed partly by experience and partly by inherited archetypal energy. He can appear as a wise man, a warrior, a rebel, or even a divine guide in dreams and inner dialogues. Women may find themselves attracted to men who seem to complete them intellectually or spiritually. But here's the twist. The real man may not be who she's falling for. Instead, she's in love with her own animus, projected onto him. Sounds romantic, right? Not quite. While projections can make us feel deeply connected to someone, they often set the stage for disappointment. Eventually, the person can't live up to the idealized image we've cast upon them. That's when arguments, disillusionment, or breakups happen. Not because the person changed, but because the fantasy dissolved. But this isn't all doom and gloom. Jung didn't design the anima and animus to blame us for failed relationships. Instead, he saw them as invitations to grow. The real journey isn't about finding the one. It's about integrating these archetypes within ourselves. When a man acknowledges and embraces his anima, he becomes more emotionally mature, empathetic, and creatively whole. When a woman integrates her animus, she taps into inner authority, clarity, and self-confidence. This integration process is what Jung called individuation, becoming a whole, conscious individual. And guess what? When you're more whole inside, your relationships outside get a lot healthier. You're no longer searching for someone to complete you. You're connecting because you choose to, not because you need to. You might now be wondering, how do you know if you're under the influence of your anima or animus? Dreams are a big clue. If recurring figures, seductive women, wise old men, mystical lovers show up in your dreams, pay attention. They might be parts of your unconscious trying to get your attention. You can also notice your emotional patterns in relationships. Are you often disappointed by partners who seemed perfect at first? Do you fall for people who remind you of a parent or fictional character? These are signs you're projecting. The good news is that once you see it, you can heal it. You don't need to reject your anima or animus. You need to listen, reflect, and work with them. Journaling, therapy, dream work, and honest conversations with yourself are great places to start. Even asking simple questions like, "What does this partner reflect about me?" can open doors. Anima and animus don't just influence love relationships. They impact friendships, work dynamics, even your spiritual journey. Have you ever had a creative idea that felt like it came out of nowhere? That could be the anima inspiring you. Have you stood up for yourself or taken bold action? The animus may have been guiding you. And here's something beautiful. These archetypes don't care about your gender, orientation, or relationship status. LGBTQ plus people work with anima and animus too, often with even more flexibility and insight. These forces are not about being male or female. They're about integrating the full spectrum of human experience inside us all. The world often encourages us to look outward for love, but Jung challenges us to look inward. The real alchemy happens not when you find the perfect partner, but when you recognize the sacred dance of anima and animus within yourself. When you do that, love becomes less about need and more about choice. Less projection, more presence. Less fantasy, more reality. And that's where true intimacy begins. Carl Jung's anima and animus aren't just old psychological theories gathering dust in textbooks. They are living, breathing forces within you, shaping your choices, desires, and connections. If your relationships often feel like déjà vu or emotional roller coasters, maybe it's time to look inside. You won't find blame there. You'll find understanding. So the next time you fall head over heels, ask yourself, is this love or is this a mirror? Either way, it's a powerful opportunity to grow. And if you're ready to explore more about how your inner world shapes your outer world, stay curious, stay conscious, and keep exploring. If you found this article eye-opening, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend who's always stuck in a love loop. And if you want to dive deeper into Jungian psychology, make sure to check out the videos and subscribe to the channel for more soul-stirring insights.